Welcome back. We're here to cover the divine masculine. For those of you that don't know, I'm Yildiz from Yildiz Readings, a psychic medium, intuitive astrologer, and clairvoyant. And yes, if you do want a booking, all of the information is directly below, as well as any sessions we host for the super chats. They should be scheduled, and you can click the bell to be notified. Otherwise, yes, we're going to get straight into the divine masculine. Now, this energy this week is looking pretty interesting in effect, and I do feel that these individuals do feel quite frustrated, and for given reasons. We do have some intense energy coming through this month of the signature of transformation, and I definitely can see this person at an individual level really looking at this, I can say, in a very mature sense. They could be holding this inside of themselves, especially because Mercury is retrograde. We have the God of Battle, and the card is in reverse. So this doesn't look like they're giving their power away. This looks like it's something very much on their mind, and it's a tactical response. I'm hearing the term the art of war. So it's, in a sense, this person is very much looking at the context with maturity. Now, with Mercury retrograde in Cancer, we do run the risk from an emotional level that we're having these psychic downloads, we're having revelations about what doesn't wash with us and how to directly go about actually navigating that circumstance. So, it's almost like we're walking on a tightrope. And, the way I was describing it to the members, and yes, for those of you that don't know, we do have a membership. It is, I'll see if I can pop it on screen. It's Sage in a Circle Network. You can actually jump on the website and you can sign up. So with this, what I was saying to them is the best analogy I can give with the nodes that we've been experiencing is we have felt very stuck. We have felt in the context of things that it's almost like you're in a prison. You're having to go with the flow. You're looking at the psychology surrounding your dreams and aspirations and what's true. Dana Scully and Mulder off the X-Files. And the train is coming, and we're feeling the sense of the train, and that can be the analogy of things are shifting, things are moving. What do we do? How do we react? And I do see these individuals actually being subjected to this energy, and they're responding to it. Hopefully in a very mature way, in a logical way, which is what I'm currently seeing here right now. I mean, we are going to get, see, Mercury, we're going to get deeper into the context of why this is. Now, as we look to the most recent past, why is Mercury retrograde in Cancer in the context of all of us at the moment? Not necessarily a negative thing. Where we don't feel safe, we have been challenged. Technically, we tend to look at Jupiter in our ascension path and in general in astrology as, it's a very positive thing. Yes and no. You're always going to get both polarities. But the problem we had with Jupiter in Cancer was we had many squares. So it was really refining our emotional intelligence. It was arduous, it was grueling, it was amplifying those areas, how we feel, how we respond, how people communicate with us, what their belief systems are, where we feel a sense of belonging. So, the shared frustration is in the past position, they didn't feel very safe. But they come full circle and realized it changed their responses with the crowning energy. Okay. It's shown them something about themselves and how to come inside to themselves to be the best version of themselves. It wasn't that the procrastination was there. Like I said, it was very 12th house. We were all collectively stuck in the 3D, in the masculine attribute of life, and in the emotional sense. So we're integrating both of those and utilizing it. So the yin to the yang is really going to apply in the twin flame path this month as we're navigating through these waters in an emotional setting, reconnecting to our true core, moving into the frequency. Now, feeling the frustration. This individual was very much feeling the frustration in the context of the joint connection. Now, it's not that there is a blame game going on. It is more they're ready for that action. They're sensing it in the ethers that there is going to be movement. We do have in the heart of it communication. So yes, I also feel the intent and the desire is to do such, but also the communication is also coming through the ethers. So what I'm seeing psychically is they're getting the signs and synchronicities. They're feeling the intuitive hit that they want to go home. And I'm hearing the term Dorothy, you know, clicking her shoes and wanting to go home. And it feels that the deepest connection, they're shredding life back. And you're looking at these two individuals sitting out under the tree, which can link to family at home. There can be some family and home disruptions. Some of the tools, you know, whenever we see the 11s or the ones, it's like, okay, you've gone from the 0, you've gone to the 1, you don't have all the tools. You don't, you know, initially sometimes we can get into that frequency and know we've got a brand new beginning and we're like, heck, we don't even know where to start. But something has started, something is ending. But simultaneously, I feel this individual is getting to a point, it's like, look, I might have used the excuse of not having the tools as not progressing forward. Look at what they have here right now. It's so simplistic. It's camping. It's living and camping. It's the essential needs, a bit like full card and tarot. Just come as I am. Come with that frequency. And the intention is peace. I'm noticing the white dove sitting inside the tree. And so in the heart of it, they're making a lot of peace to do with their past. And I'm also noticing the deer in the woods in the background. And, you know, seeing the shadow inside of themselves of where maybe they got scared off before, they avoided that emotional connections, they avoided the trauma inside of tribe and family. And there is a real imbalance, and they know that that is so, and nothing is perfect. But it's also clarifying what simply has been causing a lot of dramas. And I do believe this time frame can be resurrecting some of those situations up, but it is so that it can be compartmentalized, cleaned up, and actually moved out the way so that this movement forward is actually coming. Now, there could be a particular individual that is causing destruction. I don't feel this is the divine feminine, although they do feel the frustration of the divine feminine. I feel this is a karmic energy in the context of a tribe and family. It could be a parent energy. This could be a mother energy, but I do feel this is more a karmic energy on this occasion. I'm not feeling it is the divine feminine. So like I said previously, as we were looking at this top row, I really am seeing the things that are in balance. You know, that they know what's going to be in harmony. They know what they need to do. They know at a very simple level, stripping things back, not being scared, addressing the elephant in the room, and addressing the situations that have been causing a lot of instability, the elephant in the room. Really coming through at a foundation level and looking at it and saying, this has to change. This is a 5. Yes, it's fiery, it's Mars energy. Sometimes, and just sometimes, and this could be how they're directly looking at it, is you don't need to address it. The person actually on their own brings themselves undone. That is because the circumstance has not been transitioning and transforming. It still has been causing conflict. So it's not that they don't realize that this hasn't been causing conflict. They do feel at times extremely frustrated, especially this week. It's like, how do we get beyond this point? They're also making a lot of peace that a circumstance that has been a karmic cycle has not been transforming, and therefore they do need to make this cake different. They're also realizing this was not personal. And what do I mean by that? This is keeping them stuck through, could I say, no fault of their own? I think it was about timing. Sometimes it's timing, sometimes it's pieces of the puzzle coming together, or a little window or a tower moment happening to actually cause that door to open. So it's like a get out of jail card frequency. I do directly feel this circumstance is coming very highly into focus. I also feel that they're aware of where the problems lie and that there is a lot of peace, that something is going to transform, but the way it is going right now, it simply won't. So yes, they are clearly seeing the elephant in the room. They're realizing it's not necessarily that they need to, it's another person. Do you get what I'm saying? So where they constantly blame themselves and they were owning karmic cycles, they're now putting the onus onto that other individual, and they're looking at their life and saying, okay, regardless of this, that has to go. Where now do I want to go in my life? Because this hasn't changed. This isn't changing. This hasn't changed. And what do I want to do on my side of the fence to transform? So this is something they're currently pondering in the context of this. And as we do look at the crowning energy, it's not that they're giving their power away. They're thinking very tactfully here, in a very educated way, making peace with the past when they're reviewing it, realizing that, some people are just not meant for you. Some people, even if you may feel sorry for them or you feel you're indebted, this is a very bold rebirth we're having. And, initially we all want to know where we're going. And you look to this energy here in the middle, at the heart of it. And like I said, it's very simple. The deer in the woods analogy, the peace connecting to family and tribe and our inner emotions, the simplicity of love, and the simplicity of the essential things you directly need: food, shelter, water. Stripping it right back, building from that particular position. I'm definitely looking at this in the context that, how do I put it? They've made peace with that part. They're very, very tired. They do feel extremely frustrated. But they're also realizing what's true for them, what's really true for them, how they directly feel about you, really looking at the karmic for what the karmic cycle is. And the not transforming part, some things we weren't meant to rise above. Okay, some things we weren't. It wasn't about us. It might have been chaining us and strapping us and binding us, but it wasn't our cycle to close. It is another person's. I do also feel it's not that this person isn't going to battle and isn't going to do what they need to do, but they're thinking very cautiously about the overall of how they're going to achieve this. There can be, for some of you, where they're wanting to communicate with you. Regardless of the communication, I wouldn't stress too much, because what I do see here is a person has made a decision. And that is, I'm going to be very smart about how do I do this. I'm going to plan behind the scenes. I'm realizing that this has been blocking my path. I know I want something quite simple in my life that is very truthful and authentic. And I feel this is in general in a lot of facets of their life, with their career, with their home, with their family. And if there are some things that they're having to come to terms with in this, this is really the week they're going to be doing that. Now, if you do want to watch all our videos, we do have these out in 4 editions during the month. We do have the masculine, feminine, and the karmic. We also have these pre-released within our Sage Inner Circle network. So if you do want to jump online, book a reading, you can go directly to our website, where we have events, bookings, and more, as well as our landing page for the Sage Inner Circle network membership, where, yes, you can directly sign up. Otherwise, I would love to hear how this reading related to your particular circumstance and how you directly are handling the ascension and transition.